Apparently, we've entered a new era of boxing. Gone are the days of pro fighters spending their entire lives trying to become the best of the best. Now we've got influencers and content creators deciding they could use a big paycheck from a pay-per-view event. The online beef? Spicy. The tensions? Simmering. The stakes? Well, not really that high at all. But following the popular and profitable YouTubers versus TikTokers event a few weeks back, we've got some more online personalities lining up to throw hands in front of fans. Although some folks aren't too happy about the potential matchup. We'll get to that in a bit. For now, I pose the question: Austin Mcbroom versus KSI. Who would win? I know. It's a question the philosophers have been debating since the dawn of man. This is the kind of stuff that keeps people up at night in a cold sweat, wondering how it will turn out. A query to be pondered by only the greatest minds of the greatest generations, assisted by high-powered artificial intelligence in order to produce the most excellent of answers. So let's break down some recent events. As folks might know, a couple weeks ago a major fighting event went down. YouTubers versus TikTokers, something that's been kind of heating up in the background for ages now. Remember when TikTok was being threatened by Donald Trump and folks got weirdly worried that everyone was going to make the jump from the app onto YouTube? It's a wild world of content creation out there and everyone thinks that they're the best. You know, I would personally side with YouTubers because that's where I make my money, but hey, I have no hate for the folks over at TikTok. My favorite ones are when musicians decide to play a backing track for animals that are making all sorts of noise in a video. Like they take the animal video and then they write a score for it and then it's the animal singing along. Mwah, that's the good stuff. But we're getting off track. Apparently there is a primal, unavoidable beef between content creators on different platforms, and it had to be exercised on stage in front of millions. So the fights were planned, the date was set, and a bunch of young and popular video makers beat the hell out of each other. All in good fun, right? Well, YouTubers took the dub for sure, with 5 victories to 1 loss during the night. This all culminated with the headline fight, Austin Mcbroom versus Bryce Hall. It was gonna be lopsided from the start, with Mcbroom previously having a career in pro basketball. Plus there was 4 weight classes between them, and Mcbroom is a good 3 inches taller than Hall. I don't think anybody went in expecting Hall to have a good fight, and so it went. Mcbroom swept the floor with Hall and won without really taking any strong punches at all. What a fight. After this bout, British YouTuber KSI taunted everyone involved though. Claiming he could easily take anyone on the card that night, KSI seemed pretty confident that he could walk away with a victory pretty much no matter what. This prompted Mcbroom to respond to him, saying that he was ready. KSI then confirmed his interest and a fight seems to be on the way. This won't be the first celebrity boxing match for KSI either. Before the pandemic, he took on Logan Paul in a couple boxing matches and walked away victorious. It definitely wasn't as clear a victory as Mcbroom's over Hall, but a win is a win. The fighters have similar records, with only a few amateur and exhibition fights between them, although KSI's second fight against Logan Paul was considered pro. So who would actually win though? The ex-basketball player turned influencer, or the FIFA streamer turned British superstar? They're actually quite evenly matched in size, which could make for a better fight than what we've seen between other influencers. Mcbroom clocks in at 6 feet, supposedly weighs 170 pounds, while KSI is 5'11" and weighs in at 171 pounds. And some people have argued that KSI is taller or shorter. It's a point of contention. I don't know. So once the punches start flying, weights and height shouldn't make too much of a difference though. If we look to fighting history, they've both got a few bouts under their belts. KSI kicked off his fighting career with a matchup against fellow YouTuber Joe Weller and walked away victorious. He then fought Logan Paul twice, first as an amateur matchup resulting in a tie, and then again as a pro where he won. This drew plenty of ire from Logan's brother, Jake, who pushed for a fight against KSI to avenge the loss. For a while though, KSI claimed that COVID travel restrictions and musical engagements prevented the fight from happening. So when he seemed to confirm the fight between him and Mcbroom, Jake called him out. We'll see how that story develops over time. Mcbroom's fight history is a little shorter and a little less prominent. Sure, he took a big victory over Hall recently, but that seems to be the extent of his actual fighting career. However, his athletic history does put him in a good position to put on a show. Another thing we should take into account is KSI's newest business venture. He recently announced that he's partnered with the Sauerland brothers and promotional group Wasserman and will be continuing his boxing career in a big way. This shows how huge he's become and the caliber of promotional partners he can acquire. The final thing I want to say is that KSI seems to have a little more mental toughness than Mcbroom. I don't know if I can really back this up, but it just seems that Mcbroom is a family man and might not have that killer instinct required to really push a fight to its conclusion. KSI has also had some tougher opponents in the past, and his fights have gone on longer. This experience with drawing from one's endurance and pushing through could be the difference maker. So yeah, if I had to pick a favorite for the fight, I'd say it's KSI. So, what do you think of all this? Are you a fan of the trend of influencer boxing? Who do you think will win? Make sure you let me know down in the comments. Speaking of comments, let's take a look at some of your more ludicrous ones from what if Jake Paul knocks out Tyron Woodley? Alex Martinez says, I'll sell my car if Jake wins. You can tell she doesn't like Paul. Well, I'm acknowledging this comment, so there's no backing out now. Show us the proof when it happens. Fox Jake says, what if Jake Paul decided to fight Chuck Norris? This is a trick question, by the way. See, now Chuck Norris has reality-bending, world-ending abilities, so I don't see it going too well for anyone involved. Chris Spade says, well, it's simple. I will not acknowledge Woodley as one of the best welterweight champs anymore. Fair enough. Zumi Music says he pays guys to lose the fight. Well, I mean, they're getting paid either way. We'll see if anything ever comes out about this. And Faye D says Woodley is a KO artist. Askren can barely throw a jab. Woodley's past his prime, but he's still a beast. He'll smash Paul. It'll definitely be interesting to see somebody who can actually strike go up against one of the Paul brothers. And that's all the time we have for today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.